You would have thought that Elizabeth Holmes' $740 million debacle and 11-year prison sentence that people would learn their lessons. Well, here we are. JP Morgan is suing the 30-year-old founder of the fintech startup Frank for selling a lie. Frank was founded by former CEO Charlie Javice in 2016. She was 25 years old at the time. Frank is a software aimed at improving the student loan application process for young Americans seeking financial aid. Her vision was to build the Amazon for higher education. Billionaire Mark Rowan bought in, and that helped more prominent venture backers, including Aleph, Chegg, Reach Capital, Gingerbread Capital, and SWAT Equity Partners. JP Morgan said that Javice claimed to have more than 4 million users. When JP Morgan asked for proof, doing due diligence, Javice allegedly created a list of names, addresses, dates of birth, and other personal information for 4.265 million students who did not actually exist in reality, according to the suit. Frank had fewer than 300,000 customer accounts at the time. The filing stated that Javice first declined to show the proof that JP Morgan requested, citing privacy as the main reason. She eventually relented. The complaint includes screenshots of presentations Javice gave to JP Morgan illustrating Frank's growth and claiming it had more than 4 million customers. Frank's chief growth officer, Olivier Amar, is also named in the JP Morgan complaint. JP Morgan claims that Javice and Amar first asked an engineer at Frank to create the fake customer list. The engineer refused. The two then went to a data science professor at a New York City area college to request help. Javice paid the data science professor $18,000 and had it validated by a third-party vendor. The complaint includes screenshots of the professor's invoices. They also tracked down how Javice erased traces of the documents and communication with the professor. Amar, on the other hand, spent $105,000 buying a separate data set of 4.5 million students from the firm ASL Marketing, per the complaint. Amar and ASL Marketing have not yet responded to a request for comment. Back in 2020, the FTC was asked by Congress to look into Frank's deceptive practices and issue a temporary restraining order on the company to stop them. Lawmakers stated they are concerned that Frank is creating false hope and confusion for students while contributing to unnecessary extra work for financial aid administrators. They also already had a hunch that Frank may be using the data collected from misled students to make a profit by selling data to third-party advertisers. Here is where it gets interesting. The same week JP Morgan filed its suit against Javice, Javice filed a suit against JP Morgan. Javice's lawsuit said that JP Morgan, after acquiring Frank, realized they couldn't work around existing student privacy laws, committed misconduct, and then tried to retrade the deal. They then started a series of groundless investigations into Ms. Javice's conduct, manufacturing a for-cause termination in bad faith, and worked to force Ms. Javice out of the organization to deny her millions in compensation that she was owed. The lawsuit further alleges that JP Morgan didn't use Javice and Frank's ability to attract young, diverse, new audiences to Chase's services. Instead, they decided to stick to their poorly conceived business plans, it says, focused on Frank's historical customers. Javice's complaint said Chase grossly mismanaged its investment from the start, and it decided it would rather walk the investment back than work on it further. Amar was fired in October and Javice in November. Several other former Frank employees still appear to work at JP Morgan, according to LinkedIn. When JP Morgan acquired Frank in September of 2021, it brought on Javice and Amar and other Frank staffers as employees. Javice managed JP Morgan's student-focused products at Chase. Her LinkedIn profile states that she got $10 million as part of the merger and an additional $20 million retention bonus if she remained in good standing. Amar was made executive director of student solutions at JP Morgan. She received about $5 million from the deal and similarly bargained for a $3 million retention bonus. JP Morgan first caught wind of the fraud when they asked Frank for their database so they could start cross-selling their product. When JP Morgan sent test marketing emails to what it thought were 400,000 Frank customers, only about a quarter of the emails were delivered and only 1% were opened. Now the key takeaways. This legal battle is just beginning, but it tells us one thing. Whether or not JP Morgan is telling the truth, it stands to reason that they didn't do their due diligence. A company worth billions of dollars can't be bothered to do proper diligence for an investment they paid more than $170 million for? And that's why it is so easy for Silicon Valley to create fakers.